Hi, everybody. So, once again, I want to show you how to make another letter in cursive, write out another letter in cursive, which happens to be not only the last official letter of the English alphabet, the 26th letter of the English alphabet, but the most difficult in cursive and one of the least used alphabets, what it may be pertaining to how people express themselves, even with names, because the average person names, well, person's name hardly ever starts with the letter Z. However, there are some exceptions because we're all different and each individual has a different name starting with a different alphabet as well. So I'm going to start in print format writing the most common way in how to write the letter Z. So this right here is the letter Z, capitalized. Again, once again, capitalized. And I'm going to write around 5 of them. So you count with me if you want. 3, 1, 2, 3. Just starting out with the most simplest method, by the way. 4, and then 5. Now, I'm sure a lot of you could attest to how simple that was for all you that were taught in as early as kindergarten, if not kindergarten, at least first grade, and how to print when you were small kids. For all you people that's in my late 30s and older age bracket, I'm sure you could exactly relate. Okay, for lowercase, to make it more simple to make a lowercase, mainly the same one, same exact method, just with smaller letters. I'm going to write 5 of them down as we speak in lowercase. Once again, the letter Z, which is once again the last and 26th letter that people hardly use when they're just as a part of everyday language. No matter how we express ourselves, that's the least used letter, I would say, in my personal opinion, of the English alphabet. Okay, now if you want to learn how to write it in cursive, which is one of the most difficult and hardest alphabets to write of the English alphabet, imagine writing the number 2. That's the number 2. And this is one of the ways to write a number 2. You could also write a number 2 in this format as well. Although I prefer writing it sometimes and most of the time in this format. But okay, I'm going to write a number 2 upwards to 5 times, just like I did with the capital letter Z as well as the lowercase form of the letter Z. And you could count with me: 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, in this format, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now, I'm going to show you how to do a capital Z, which you see right here in print format, but in cursive. So watch with me closely. Which is a variation of this number 2, as you see in its written format, but with more curves and more loops. Sorry about that. Let me erase it. Two, three, four, and then five. Okay, now I'm going to emulate this format right here. As you see, the first set of number twos I wrote in this format, but in a capital cursive Z. So watch closely with me. Oh, that didn't turn out so good. Okay, let me start again, if I can recall how to do so, because it's been a while. Two, three, four, and then five. Now, for this for the lowercase format in the cursive Z, it's mainly similar to these this method right here. I would say so, but just in smaller alphabets, much smaller alphabets. So one, two, three. Watch as I go real slow so you could be able to master it that much more. And once again, just imagine starting out as writing it in this format right here. How this number two is written, but just in a much more, this is the much more smaller, well, actually the only format in the number two to write. It's really not a lowercase or uppercase format for numbers. So I'm going to complete finalizing the letter Z in lowercase format. So one, two, three. Those are three lowercase z's in cursive format. So this will be alphabet number 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Once again, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then number 5. So for in order once again to write it lowercase z, in these and it specifically excuse me, in this format, which is very similar to how I wrote the number 2 in this here format on the fourth line, because you have, okay, a capital Z, small z, number 2 in this format, which is the format I prefer to write it in when I'm doing handwriting, which is very rare now. Line number 4, which is the other form of how to write the number 2. Once again, this is the capital Z in cursive. One way to write it in cursive. That's line 5. Line 6, the other way to write a capital Z, which is mainly similar to the number 2 on line 3, but just in a much more bigger format. And then this would be right here, line 7, which should be just a lowercase version of the letter Z. So if you want me to um, go into more detail, then I'm willing to do so. Well, as a matter of fact, I will have it right below in the description box detailed description on how to write your letter Z in cursive, whether it may be in capitalized format or uppercase format or lowercase format. Until next time, have a safe and blessed day. Goodbye.